Hello and welcome to this module of performance management. Today we're looking at third line support. My name is Sue Southern and I'm your instructor.
The unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this copyrighted work is illegal. Criminal copyright infringement, including infringement without monetary gain, is investigated by the FBI and is punishable by up to 5 years in federal prison and a fine of $250,000.
If you have any questions during this module, please use the question and comment box. Let's get started. The module topics that we're looking at in here, we're talking about the advanced specialist subject matter experts that are found in third line support. The activities that they undertake, we'll be looking at those, the skills they need to be able to undertake those activities, and also the element of teamwork that's involved with working in third line support. You'll recall this diagram from earlier on. Here's our IT infrastructure again. All the different components that I described earlier in the course are prevalent in here. So what we're focusing on this occasion is this part of third line support and the servers, networks, web support, the type of activities that they undertake in here. So one of the illustrations on here, you'll remember I referred to this as the red arrows diagram. Well, the red arrow that is depicted here is something that's undesirable. This is where a third line support team member has made an unauthorized change to the IT infrastructure, which is likely to lead to incidents and problems occurring, which mean that is visible to users, they start to call the service desk, and we've now invoked our whole support operation. So third line support, we do not want them to be making unauthorized changes, and that's quite a key point. What we do want them to do is to be looking at information that they learn while they're undertaking their activities, and as depicted by this green arrow, pass that information back down to second line support. And the reason for doing that is that we're learning and growing day by day as we go, capturing that knowledge, putting it what is probably most likely a knowledge database that then is visible to the other support groups. The more they do that, the more we can help to reduce the cost as depicted by this red line along the bottom and reduce the amount of incidents that are reached through to third line support. Another part of their work is to replace this red arrow activity. They would need to escalate any actions that need to be undertaken, perhaps through to problem resolution and to change management, and more about those steps as we go through the course. So that's what we want third line support to be doing. Type of activities that they'll undertake, well, because they're usually divided into areas of their specialist knowledge, and their knowledge is to a higher level than those found on second line support, then they'd be looking at areas such as servers and mainframes, specialist knowledge in those subjects, networks and the complexities of managing a network. Web services is another example that they would see. Application support is a specialist area where you may find third line support people working as well. And all of those areas, of course, would be subject to performance management activities. Now, third line support need to be applying their knowledge to lots of areas, getting involved with incident management and advanced problem solving, and we'll be considering some of those areas. Installations of new equipment and fixes to existing equipment would be other activities they'd undertake. Maintenance of all the IT in the infrastructure that's within their remit to do so, such as we've seen on this list that may occur in there. They'd also be expected to be understanding the availability of the different components from that list and manage the capacity of those components as well, so that everything's working to best effect for performance. And what is fairly key in this area, but often quite hard for these people to relate to, is that we're trying to get a balance between reactive work, so where we are responding to incidents, and proactive work. And we can see the difference on this list. On this bullet point, we're talking about the reactive activities, whereas installations could actually fall into either camp. We may be doing an installation by means of reacting to something that's already occurred, or it could be proactive in as much as it's installation to positively affect performance. So that balance is fairly crucial to being able to work in third line support. What else do they need to know? Well, there's some skills that would be relevant for third line people to have. Communication being quite a strong need. They need good verbal communication so they can explain and make a point. They need to be able to listen, and I would call this active listening, not just hearing what's been said, but actually absorbing what it is, looking for clues in what people are describing, where they may be doing diagnostic work, for example. Asking questions, then understanding the difference between open and closed questions to be able to get clarity in any conversation that's taking place. Empathising with what's going on, and doing that in a manner that's appropriate for the skills of the people that they're talking to. We would expect to see third line support people with some very advanced diagnostic reasoning, quite a key skill to work in this area. Business awareness. I often find people are quite puzzled by seeing business awareness relating to third line support. But you may remember me mentioning when I was talking about strategy, that strategy is everyone's business in the organisation. So third line support are just the same. They do need to be able to relate strategy to what they're doing, because the IT infrastructure is only there to help meet the strategy. Technical knowledge. I doubt you would be surprised to see this one on the list. This is where they would have some subject matter expertise in their area of specialisation, desktop servers, but to that higher level than in second line. But also people in third line support would undoubtedly have to liaise with supplier technical teams for bug resolution or applying fixes to anything in the infrastructure would be also a key point. Teamwork in the performance skills that are required is a key element so that they can effectively work with other members of the team, perhaps including other support groups, liaising with the service desk, talking with customers from time to time may be necessary as well. So they would need to understand how to work well within a team and the role they play within it. The achievement of faster resolution times can happen if third line take that green line I was showing you on the slide a moment ago, so that it's fed back down the chain. That way people learn and we get better and better at resolving issues more quickly. Their part in the process, for instance, problems, availability, capacity, change, all those areas would be part of their work as well. So that's all we need to cover on third line support at this point, just another bite-sized piece in the overall equation of performance management. If you have any questions at all, then please use the question box, and thank you for joining us, and I'll see you on the next module. Bye for now.